my shit. Okay. Ow. Okay, I am on here. Hello and good day all. Guess I need my mic in front of my face. That might fucking help a little bit. All right. My knee hurts and I have no idea why my knee hurts. My knee has hurt all day. I have no idea what the hell's wrong with my knee. I wonder if it's swollen. No, doesn't look it. I don't know what the fuck it did. It hurts like shit. So, big news of the day. Timors are breeding. So that's huge news. I think I feel really confident this year about the Timors. And that didn't sound good. And I've been really trying. Uh, yeah. Um, I know we are getting old. I don't know what it is. My knee's hurting like shit though today. And then I didn't get anything done in the snake room because the Timors are breeding. I walked in, looked at the cage, took a picture because they were breeding, then walked right back out because there's such fucking moody bitches that they will stop if I'm in there moving around and banging around and cleaning. Uh, they'll stop breeding. That female, dude, the female, she took forever to get up to size because half the time she wouldn't eat, and then if she did eat, it'd be like once a month if I was lucky. And then, like if I would like try to clean her cage a day or two after she ate, she'd fucking throw up. I mean, just in the last year, she basically turned into a different snake. I mean, like really turned into a different snake. Like she was kind of turning around the last season because I really thought I was going to clutch last season. She really went through the motions. Um, but no, it just never materialized. And then she came out of last season, no clutch, and all she wanted to do was eat. And I mean, this is a snake that would eat like once every couple months, and all of a sudden she wanted to eat. I couldn't give her enough food. She put on like a foot, and yeah, she went through the motions. So I'm really excited because Timors are like in my top three favorite pythons. Um, Such a neat animal. No one's selectively breeding them. No one's even trying to find morphs, and I'm sure there's morphs of them. I mean, we know there's an ivory, and I mean like real morphs, not like 12.5% Timor retic crosses. So I don't know. I got a goofy, almost anery looking one coming from Andrew. So we're gonna go. We're gonna see what's up there. But no, I want to start doing some selective breeding. And like the Rinka Island Timors are really neat. They look pretty different. So I don't know. I'm gonna start doing some more Timor research. And I got this other female coming. I'd like to get one more male because all mine are imports. So because there's a couple bloodlines of them here, but all mine will be my own bloodlines. So I like having my own bloodlines, to be honest. Do you like Timors or Scrubs more? Timors. I like Timors more. I like Timors more because they're more like retics. And that's the real reason I want to get these going is because um oh fuck um there's so many people that live in states that want retics and can't have them, and it would be great if we could produce enough, that we can start getting them to the people that want retics and but can't have them. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. A Timor is a better pet than a retic. It's not going to get near as big. Um, as long as it's friendly, they're not really they're only biters and shit if if you don't work with them. But if you work with them, they're super cool ass snakes, super cool snakes. And nobody's done anything with them. So, they'll be great to be able to get people people the closest thing to a retic as possible, at least genetically speaking, and go from there. So, but yeah, so hopefully I got that female coming from Andrew, and then I got to get another male. So I'd like to have 2 lines. I'd like to have 3 lines, but we'll settle for 2 for now. So got to get I got to find a good imported male. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not looking for one right now, but I do need to get one and go from there. And yeah, I do know that Timors have a quicker lay cycle from their shed, from their pre-lay shed to their lay cycle, to the when they drop eggs. It's not as long as retics, but I can tell you that this year I've been paying really close attention to this female, and 100% they're very very similar behavior to retics. I did a write up and posted a picture in the Timor Python group. But I can tell you that they are very similar in their behaviors for breeding as retics for the females. She did go over to the cold side, and she stayed over there for a while. The thing that was noticeably different with her, and it might just be her because she's stupid, she did quit eating over a month ago. So, based on my retic breeding. I thought that meant she was ready then. She clearly wasn't. She's in a really big cage, and her and the male get along. They don't fight or nothing. So I can put him. He's been in there for like 2 months because I don't know what I'm doing with him. So and I don't pretend like I do. So I just don't know their behavior well enough to risk it. So since they get along, and it was his breeding season, I just put them together, and I could even feed them in the same cage. They don't fight or nothing. Like they just eat and leave each other alone, which I don't really recommend. But I know these two animals well enough to know that I can feed them in the same cage, because they don't act like retics. And yeah, so she went off food over a month ago, probably close to 2 months ago, because she went into a shed, um, and then came out of that shed, started cooling herself down, spent a ton of time over on the cold side, and then a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, if that, she came back over to the hot side, and she's just been sitting there, and then she went into shed. But it was real obvious. You could see, and anybody that's bred retics, they'll know when those females are developing follicles, they get that oblong shape to their back half where they get some scale separation, and it looks like right where the ribs would end, like there's a little bulge, like line going down the side of the snake, or a little bit down from the side of the snake, and you get some scale separation in there, and it was real obvious. You could see it. That's why I thought she was ready to breed prior to this shed. I They might have been locked up one time, but I didn't want to stick my head in there and have them freak out, so I couldn't really tell. It was right before she went in the shed. It looked like they were locked up, but it's not 100%. And then so I just been waiting for her to come out of that shed. She shed last night. I checked her this morning. They weren't breeding, and I went down 3 hours later, and they were locked up. So hopefully we get some more data on that. And I mean, I had a feeling she was gonna want to breed. I was like, she's gonna come out of the shed, and she's either gonna be in breeder mode, or she's gonna be in I'm not producing for the season. Get this male out of my fucking cage, and give me some food mode. And that just so obvious. Fortunately, she was in. She wanted dick. She was in take dick mode. Um, so we're all happy about that. Hope they have a successful clutch. So do I, because I've been, dude. I would like to start picking some up. Yeah, I think I want to say I've had them. It's been a while. I've had them a while. It's not been 10 years, but it's been more than 5 years. It's been a while. Um, I think Glenn might have used one of my Timor pictures in his book. I know he used one of my I think he used one of my uh, northern white lip pictures or something. But I mean, I want to say I got those before 2020. I know I got them before 2020. I just don't remember. I had to get those in 2018 or 2019. I want to say I got those in 2019 because I traded Andrew Ternates for him. So I think that was 2019, and they were already like 2, 3 years old then. They already had a couple years on them in 2019. So they ain't exactly young, that's for sure. So yeah, they're pushing 10 years old. What's up, everyone? Okay, do you pair animals as soon as the temps start getting cooler or when you see follicle development? I start pairing when I see follicle development. That's when I see. If they're starting at, or if I don't notice follicle development, but the females are starting to be goofy about um, feeding, I'll try pairing them. But I honestly, I watch sheds. I pay attention. I pay attention to their behavior. Um, like it's a little different with Mindanao because they don't seem to go off food. So you just kind of have to watch for swelling with them, and they will hang out on the cold side. Yeah, my Mindanao females do tend to go over to the cold side. Um, my my old Mindanao female, um, yeah, I've always just been lucky and just caught her when she had some follicle development. You know, just seen it cleaning her cage and stuff. But that's usually how I breed my snakes is when I'm cleaning their cages and I see they're developing follicles. So I hear it a lot in the dog world, but do reptile breeders allow people to buy credit for future breedings? Um, I don't know. They might. I like. I'll take a deposit if I have a clutch in the incubator, but I don't even like to do that. Like, I will not take a deposit on Timors because this will be the third year in a row they've been breeding, I think. And I just think they were too young. She's too young before. You know, because she's a foot and a half bigger than last year because she ate so much food. Um, oops, I'm breaking stuff. Breaking my card reader. Um, so I wouldn't take anything on that. But I'm sure you can find some shady ass people in the reptile industry to take your money up front for something that doesn't exist. I'm sure there's a lot of people in retics that'd be like, yeah, send me as much money as you want. Okay, I want to pick up some wild caught Timors. Eventually, someone will find a morph in them. They are gorgeous animals. Well, the other thing too is eventually, if we start breeding them, a morph's gonna pop out. You know, or at least some like cool different looks are gonna pop out. You know, because I mean, if you look at Timors, there are some different looks to them. There's some have almost some banding or some blotching. Yeah, there's some different shit going on with them. Yeah, and they don't get too big. I don't know if I think like 10 foot's like gigantic for one. Is there any? Hold on, we're gonna look it up. We'll see what the record is for largest Timor python. We're gonna find out what the fucking internet has to say, which I'm sure it's gonna be wrong, but that's okay. We'll see what the internet says. I hope my knee stops hurting. Largest Timor python ever caught. We'll see. Well, AI says they get 5 to 8 feet. So basically, the size of every jam cross that fucking Garrett produces. Um, AI is fucking stupid. They're saying they average between 5 and 8 feet. I know they get bigger than 8 feet. This is why the internet needs to go fucking kill itself. Uh, why does a bunch of shit about retics keep coming up? It's fucking stupid. I didn't ask about retics. Ever recorded. Okay, let's see what it says here. 5 to 8 feet. There's no record verified giant specimens of Timor pythons, which is a Lesser Sunda island, a native to Lesser Sunda Islands. It's not. It's not a. It's, yeah, I think it's on Flores, but it's not on the Big Island. But I don't think they're on the Big Island before Komodo, because there's the Komodo Island, Padar, Rinca, and then Flores. That's the Big Island. And I think Sumbawa is the Big Island east of that, but I don't think they're on Sumbawa. If I got my islands right, I might not have my islands right. You guys might want to double check all that because I might be wrong on that. Everything about that big fucking Sulawesi just keeps coming up. Oh my god, I hate the internet. It's so stupid. I want to say 10 feet. I know I saw a really big one, a picture of a really big one. Um Hold on, my sister just texted me. Not yet. I gotta hit my sister up later. Um, but no, I know I saw a really big one. I'm gonna say it was about 10 feet, and I'm pretty sure Andrew had a couple girls that were right around the 9 foot mark. So, yeah, I mean they're honestly like the perfect size. So if you wanted a retic that actually stays 6 to 9 feet, get a Timor python because it'll actually stay that size. Yeah, it'll actually stay that size. So, um, get one of those. But yeah, I think my Peruvian red tail female's gravid too. So, um, that'll be because that's another project I've had for I don't know 7 or 8 or 9 years too. So now I just need to hit on those Halma scrubs. If I can hit those are like the three projects that I have about 10 years in working with them, raising stuff up and everything. So hopefully hopefully I can hit on all three. I've not seen any action with my scrubs this year, which is crazy because two of the three females were breeding like crazy last year, and I was like, oh, here we go. I'm getting some eggs. I was looking like I was getting two clutches, and then nothing happened. Dude, they were locked up a lot, and nothing happened. They have not started breeding yet, but they started breeding around the same time as the Timors last year, and the Timors are behind schedule because it's just now starting to warm up. Yeah, it's just now starting to warm up. And I think that's what they did last year. They started to breed right about the time the temperature shifted back to getting warmer. That's how my northern white lips bred. When they would breed, it would be after like the super cold spells broke and the when the weather was on the uptick for temperature, and the northern white lips would breed. So I'm guessing it's something like that once the weather breaks, they'll start breeding. So I'm gonna try to hit the scrub pythons with a few more males, and hopefully I get something. Because I had 3.3, but I lost a male. He was old as shit. He was an adult, like a big adult, like 6 foot plus when I got him in. Basically 10 years ago. He ended up, I don't know, something happened. So, so I'm down to two males, and the one male's kind of seems kind of worthless. So I'd love to acquire Timor in the future because they look cool and are closely related to retics. Timors are are intelligent like retics. Yeah, I would say Timors are smarter than retics. If I'm being honest, they don't seem as impulsive as retics because retics are super impulsive. And Timors don't seem to be that way. Timors are checking you out. They're watching you. They're really keeping an eye on shit. I would actually put Timors as smart or smarter than retics, to be honest. I should have brought my alligator on. I forgot to bring on Bob the alligator. I was gonna have the alligator cam, so we'll do that. We'll do that another day. We'll have Bob on. Bob the alligator is going to be my new co-host until I find him a fucking home. Okay, my shit was just fucking taking a second there. Looked like it was lagging. Uh, yeah, the scrubs are cool. I'm hoping people start getting into a lot more different scrubs since there's like tons and tons of islands with scrub pythons that no one seems to know or care about. So it'd be nice if, if they would start working with more Rate, or if they'd start working with all the stuff from the Bacan, or right around that island. And then there's the Central Sula Island group that supposedly has scrubs. My Timor is insanely smart. Yeah, what do you think about that Timor, Kevin? Besides, they take a lot of work to get them to be friendly. What are you thinking about them? Sunday, tune in. Oh yeah, what are we doing, Spencer? We're gonna do a shit talking session, or what are we doing? We're doing I think we're doing a size breakdown because on Sunday. Yeah, we're gonna get into a breakdown video on Sunday on sizes, and I think sizes, how people are marketing sizes, and some of the other nonsense, and that's all because the uh, me just asking the question, why would a 62.5% jamp only say 7 to 9 feet? It got so much backlash. I got so much. There's a guy on there calling me gay and stuff. A dude I had to throw out of next gen because he was just being an idiot. He's on there swearing at me and calling me a homosexual as we speak. So shout out to him for not having anything better to do with his life. Wish it was a female. Even though getting into Bolins and trying to figure them out. Ever thought of, I don't know. I'm actually not a big Bolins person. I think Bolins are overrated. Everybody, uh, everybody's into Bolin's pythons. I like Bolin's pythons. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. But if you were to say, here's a 5.5 group of Bolins or Timors, I would take the Timors. I mean, financially it's idiotic, but if someone was saying, hey, do you want 5.5 unique looking Timors from the wild, or 5.5 Bolins, which you, in this hypothetical, you're not allowed to sell them to make money. You got to keep them and work with them. I would take the Timors. I'm just not that. I like Bolins, I really do. I mean, maybe someday I'll get a pair because I do like them. I just don't. I just can't. I can't get into them. Like, I think I think they're neat because how unique they are, but I can't. They don't have a wow factor for me. They just don't. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sunday shit talk size breakdown. Yeah, I will make a thumbnail that says that. I'll let everyone know Sunday shit talk. That might be a new a new segment that I can start. Sunday shit talking. Or just Sunday shit talk. Uh then just we'll just let anybody come on and just say whatever they want to say. See how long it takes us to get sued. Uh yeah, brother, you get me any wild caught shit over here and I'll work with it. Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice once we start doing some exporting. If that really takes off, because we're also looking, which I don't know if I should be announcing this, but we are also looking to. Hold on a second, I gotta read this. Do you mind if I send you a couple of fixes? Sure. Okay. Sure. Um, we are also looking up setting up importation from Indo to the US, obviously not for retics, but for some of this rarer shit that we were talking about now. Bolins, different regional green tree pythons, different scrub localities, different monitors. We're actually looking into that too. That's all going to be running through basically the same group. And I do need to announce that the any I don't really need to put this out there, but I'm going to put this out there. the people that are going to be involved in the retic export, it's a little bit of a pay to play, not kind of, and it's not like we're just going to charge money, but there is legally you have to have your name on certain permits. So whoever is the license holder and has the permits for the site he's exporting, that person's going to need a list of names, and there is a small fee to be on it. So like, it's it's like $500 or less. So it's like, who cares? But yeah, so I mean, we're gonna be keeping it pretty tight on the export situation, and then we are looking into getting in rare stuff, and new locality stuff out of Indonesia. So we're actually trying to put together a list of connections in different island groups to get stuff. So, and fortunately, I still talk to a lot of the people I used to talk to about the retic locality. So we already have, we just got to get some stuff set up, and then we got Sola covered, we got the Malukus covered, we got Borneo, we got Java, we got Sumatra, Bangka Island, some of the other islands, and then they on the other people, they got all the green tree stuff covered in Irie and Java, all that area. So we're going hard. Yeah. Bolins are just mountain scrubs. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. Bolins are cool, but white lips look just as cool to me. Yeah, white lips are nice. I should have kept a pair back just to. I do like them, but I really should have kept a pair back. Um, you know, just to keep them going. I gotta look at something. Hold on, I gotta send a 1 second. Okay, all right, there we go. Where are we at? Bolins are pretty, but the average person only likes them because they are expensive. Yeah, and I think a lot of the reason people only, I think that a lot of the Bolin shit is hype. If I'm not shitting on Bolin pythons by any means, but it's kind of like when you see a chick in movies that's like, she's attractive, but she's not like a 10, but she's like the new it girl for all the shitty Hollywood blockbuster flops. And she's like, "Oh, she's the hottest, person around." It's like, "No, she's hot for your local bar." You know what I mean? If you saw her at the local bar, you'd be like, "Wow, that's a hot chick. What she's doing here at this dive bar." But, I mean, and that's kind of like what I think Bolins are. Like they're the pretty girl that's surrounded by a bunch of fours, so she looks even prettier. And I think that's kind of how they got hyped up. Because I think if you show a Bolin's python, if you put a Bolin's python and a Timor python beside each other, and then show somebody who is not a snake person and say, which one's cooler? Which one looks neater? I think they're picking the Timor. Okay. With the Bolins, you seem to need at least 3 males for every females to make it work. Yeah, there's sluts like that. I need Savu pythons. Yeah, the Savus would be cool if you could get some of the Duns pythons from Watar. I'd like to get some of the bright yellow Insularis from Watar. Looking to grab some if I find it interesting on how on one has figured out how the breed. No one can seem to consistently do it. Any thoughts on breeding on the Timors or on the Bolins? On the Bolins, I have no clue. I honestly have no clue how to breed Bolins. I know it gets pretty cold there. Um, so I'm guessing it's just a temperature thing. Just a temperature thing there. Hold on. All right. Where are we at? I'd take the bullet and work with some new locality short tails. Yeah, well, there's other islands with bloods, or like, I don't think we know. I'm not sure if people know how big the actual blood python or short tail python range is, because they're on Banca Island, and if they're on Banca Island, they're probably on some of those other islands that are right very close to Banca. So, and Banca Wagglers, that's what I'm trying to get in, the Banca Wagglers vipers. I adore northern golden white lifts. They used to be so cheap, and northerns are still so underrated. Yeah, especially if you hit them with the right light, they're pretty good. And no one's ever selectively bred them either for like high golds, high contrast, high reds. That's what sucks. Like no one has selectively bred a lot of this stuff. So basically, Bullens are Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I would say they're the modern day like Emma Watson. Like Emma Watson's hot, but she's not like Elizabeth Hurley's fucking hot. Okay, Emma Watson is not Elizabeth Hurley. And I mean, I know Elizabeth Hurley's old, but like even at 60, Elizabeth Hurley's given most 22-year-olds a run for their money. Like I would say, yeah, is like yeah Emma Watson type level. That's where we're gonna like hot, but not like super hot. So not that any of this matters. More people should work with white lips, especially northerns. Yeah, I would like to see. Do we know how big their range is? It'd be nice to see if we could find some like island localities of that. I have Timor Island. I have Timor Island Maclots and Rhodey Island. Rhodey Island. I'm trying to think where that's at. Is that in between uh, Flores and Timor? I think it's right in between there, right? I might be wrong on that. Oh, right. Some Rhodey Islands. There were some here. Michael Colwood got some. You know who has them is Eric Kohler. Eric Kohler has Rhodey Islands. I don't know if he's breeding them, but I know he has them. I know for a fact he has them. At least he did. What's something's making noises here. I don't know what it is. Notifications. What is this? Someone's talking to me. No, they're talking to Eric. New to the retic scene, but got SD and started watching all this stuff last year. What I am out of the loop on, I've always thought that he was pretty straightforward. Oh, this is about Garrett. With what I've seen on his stuff and his features on other people's, yeah, that is called marketing. That's what that is. That's not what I need to get in. Come on, where the fuck is my shit at? There we go. Wrong tab. Weird Science. Forgot about that one. I need to see again. Yep. No, yeah. Elizabeth Hurley is still smoking ass hot. Yeah. Like she is like off the charts hot for being a senior citizen. So, but yeah. So I don't know how we went from Timors are locked up to Emma Watson's Bolin's Python, and Elizabeth Hurley is hot for a senior citizen, but that's where it took us. So, but yeah, I got the white-headed pied going to be coming out of shed soon, and I bet money that she starts breeding, which is exciting because we need to start the Super Dwarf White-headed Pied project as soon as possible because it's going to take 3 years. And then I have my Sunfire Doublehead Indo Caramel. She's in shed. I think she's gonna want to breed after she comes out of shed. But my male's not has not been showing much interest in her because she's looked swollen for a little bit, but I might have just jumped the gun. So hopefully I just don't know what I'm doing. That's best case scenario right now. Um, and she wants to breed as soon as she comes out of shed because I really need to get Indo anthraxes on the ground. I really need to get that snake on the ground to start pushing stuff forward. Um, After I do, I'm going to move out my pair of heads. It's a Motley Tiger double head and a Sunfire double head. So if I hit on the clutch, I will be selling that pair. or I can just give it to somebody who wants to work with them and make some more, and then we can split the clutches. Yep, I believe Rhode Island is right under Timor. I wonder if that island mass has ever connected. Yeah, all that shit was connected at one point. If so, I doubt they differ a lot at the genetic level. Probably not, but I mean, you look at the Insularis that go from green to blue to bright ash yellow on Watar, and then Dunes pythons on Watar are significantly different. Yeah, Elizabeth Hurley's finer than Frog's hair. Yeah, yeah, she's fucking hot, man. And I saw a thing she's dating Billy Ray Cyrus, who looks like a weird hippie person, homeless hippie rock star now. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any. If there might be some young people on here that don't remember "Achy Breaky Heart." You don't even know. If you're on here and you don't know about that, you don't even know. You don't even understand. Yeah, his fucking mullet for that shit was fantastic. Oh well. But yeah, so hopefully, yeah, those are the two next females that I'm hoping to start breeding. The white-headed pied and the sunfire doublehead Indo caramel, and hopefully, man, hopefully I can hit on both of those because I think we're gonna send out most if we get the clutch of the Super Dwarf hats. I think I might send them out to Spencer because we've been kind of talking about that whole project, and we'll get that going. Um, yeah, yeah. Ryan knows about "Achy Breaky Heart." That should be. We should make that the theme song for this fucking live stream. So yeah, we'll get those out to Spencer. I think he's gonna wants to work with that project if we hit on him. And then, man, the Indo anthrax. We need that so bad. I know people like the Mochino anthrax. I really think the Indo anthrax is going to be better. I think the Indo anthrax will be better than the Mochino and the orange glow and the purple. Outside of a mocha anthrax uh, that has a lot of silver, that might be really really good. But no, I think Indo anthrax is going to smoke everybody. All the albino anthraxes. So we had a school musical with that song when I was a kid. They need to have a school musical now with it. That's what they need. That's what these kids need. They need a little Billy Ray Cyrus in their lives. Straighten them the fuck out. Yeah, Duns. Is it Dunes or Duns? I say Duns. Dun pythons are nice. I've seen some with white undertones that just blow my mind. Yeah, there's been a lot of really nice ones. There were some that came in a year or two ago. I don't know what the legality is on them. They probably just brought them in under MAC lots. Do we know which MAC lots get big? Because some of the MAC lots get pretty decent size. And I'm not even sure how far their range is. I don't think MAC lots have much of a range. That's what's so weird about the Lesser Sundas. Like, you get past Bali, like, once you hit, like, Sumbawa, like, the animals just are like, we're just gonna, we're just gonna fucking evolve completely randomly. Because it was Flores that had the fucking hobbits. Yeah, it was Flores where they found the miniature, like, 3-foot humans that would fight the Komodo dragons. So yeah, I mean, like even that island group even had fucked up people. Even the people were fucking weird, not just the snakes. So I don't know what all monitor species are in that area either. I should know that. I know there's a couple different monitor species in the Komodo region in the Flores. Yeah, I don't think there's any waters in that little section of Komodo Island. There's no way the Komodos would destroy them. But I think there's another species that lives on those islands with Komodos. I'm not sure which ones they are. Yeah, no, that's the new theme song for XROR customers. Yeah, dude, I didn't mean to blow up Retic Pursuit the way I did. Holy shit. Maybe people are right. Maybe I do cause problems. That shit blew up. Blew the fuck up. I got some guy on there calling me gay and a fag. All kinds of stuff. Telling me to come to I won't show my face at Tinley because I'm afraid of him or something. I don't know. I'm not even allowed at Tinley. So, yeah, he's really upset about that time I threw him out of Next Gen for being a fucking asshole. Oh, my phone's making noises again. Um, but yeah, any questions or comments? Any topics you guys want to get into? I didn't get a chance to keep up on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff today. I see that piece of shit Lex Wesner was, I think, answering questions. I don't know, he might have been testifying, but fuck him. He's been trafficking people for fucking 50, 60 years. Okay. Biggest Timor Island macalots I've seen was about 9 feet. Yeah, that's pretty big, man. Like, that's a pretty decent sized snake. I mean, that's the size of that's the size of a big 62.5% jamp right there. It's still smaller than a ball python, though. It's spectacular to be some macalots over in PNG as well. Yeah, yeah. I honestly don't know. I don't know what their range is. I know Timor pythons have a much larger range than people think. I've had people in Indo tell me they're on like six. They know of at least like 6 islands with them. And everyone's like, no, they only come from this one island, and they're not even on Timor. Then the people in Indo are like, no, they're in East Timor. Yeah, if they're not, it's like they're still there, and or they at least used to be there. So it's not like they weren't there. They might have got wiped out by now, but no, I've had people from Indo tell me like, no. I used to have a list. I had one hunter give me a list of all the different islands where they have found Timors. On Retic Pursuit, I dared to question Garrett's suggestion that a Jamp mainland cross will only get as big as a pure Superdorf, and people got really fucking mad at me. Like, I'd made a post as like like it was like a rhetorical post where they said that snake would only get 7 to 9 feet. I just put 7 to 9 with a question mark, dude, and people lost their shit. Lost their shit on me. It spun off into a bunch of other posts. All these people are all mad, telling Dax and Tyree to throw me out of the group, calling me gay. Nobody told me I live in my mom's basement though. I was kind of disappointed because I almost always get told that I live in my mom's basement. This was one of the few times on the internet that I was arguing with people that I didn't get a, well, you live in your mom's basement. I'll have to look through it. Maybe somebody did say that, but I didn't see it if they did, so I was kind of disappointed because I always get told I live in my mom's basement. Probably because I look like I'm homeless. No. Oh, what else is? I'm trying to think. My next clutch, I do have a clutch coming. I do have some marbles coming. So we're gonna see. We're gonna try to. We're switching some genetics around a little bit on some marbles, and we're gonna see what that does. We're gonna try to go, because last season I went 50% Ternate, 25% Mindanao, 12.5 Kalatoa. This season, we're going to go 50% Mindanao, 25% Kalatoa, 12.5% Jamp, 12.5% Kalatoa. So we're switching it up a little bit. Unfortunately, that 12.5% Jamp means it'll only be 7 to 9 feet, so we're set there. So I saw another post addressing throwing you out. I missed that one. Was there another? You'll have to tag me in it. I didn't know there was another one. I saw one, but there might be 2 or 3, but at this point. So, and I was even nice. I wasn't even mean to these people, dude. These new retic keepers, they are the biggest fucking like snowflake, ball baby, fucking assholes. I was nice. I just said something they didn't like, and they're like, "No, you cannot say something that I disagree with. This is my inner truth. My this is you can't attack me. This is a personal attack." It's like it's like identity politics for retics, and the second you say something they disagree with, you're like attacking them on a personal level because they can't separate their own moronic beliefs about indeterminate growth of a snake and themselves, just because they're idiots. I post a link so they can all come watch this, but I don't think they do. I don't know. There's 25. I'm sure there's at least five people out of the 25 on here that don't like me. At least I hope so. A lot of how mad made people on the yeah, there was people, there were people pissed on there, and I wasn't even mean. Because Dax was said so, was hit me up about it. I was like, dude, I wasn't even mean to these people. It was like, I know you're behaving yourself. But ROR has backing from Clint. How could you question that? I'm getting real close to start doing reaction videos to some of Clint's shit. And I really don't want to start a fight with that dude because he does seem nice. But I really just think he's a YouTube shill that just. Because you ever notice when he talks about a species or a specific snake or a specific lizard, it's not just, it's not organic. It's not him just talking about a species. He has this animal. He starts talking about it and talking about it, and then he starts talking about the breeder, and then he talks about the specific animal from that breeder, and then he's talking about the where you can go to see the breeder who has them for sale. You know what I mean? It's just obvious that he's getting paid or he's getting free snakes or free reptiles. I mean, he openly admits, I was like, oh, Garrett gave me this retic and this retic and $4,000, and now I'm telling you that you put retics around your neck and up your asshole, and get them for small children because they're fantastic pets. It's I don't know, and I'm not really knocking them, because if somebody wants to give me a bunch of free animals and then come on my podcast to talk about them, we can do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to super chat me $10, I'll gladly tell everyone what an amazing person you are right now. Like, it's no problem. So I'm not really knocking them on that. I'm just knocking them on the persona of it being so educational based. You know what I mean? And it's like, it really seems more like whoever's sending you something for free is the animal you're promoting right now. You know what I'm saying? And if he's doing it with people who are just his friends, that's cool. But I can't imagine that I can't imagine anybody's actually friends with Garrett. There's a video of Clint Reptiles where it's like a Solaire cross, and he's with a famous reptile YouTuber, and they were talking about how full grown at best is like 6 and 7 feet. Well, if you want to send me a link to that, like that's, you know, I know Spencer wants to do a shit talking call out video, and we can do that. But I'm really considering doing reactions to Clint's and fucking Dave Kaufman's, because I mean that's what's driving all this. That's what's driving new people to Garrett, and they don't get exposed to anybody else. So then they get mad at me when I just say something, uh, true. Clint is way too smart to say some of the dumb shit he does. Yeah, and when you see that, when you see him saying dumb shit, and he's probably like genius level IQ, it's like, uh, there's like, let's take a look at cause and effect here, and something tells me the cause is a check, and the effect is the stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I think. Hey, I didn't get a chance to see all of Rob's podcasts. How did it go? And also, I still need to send out the Mindanao head anthrax as soon as the weather gets a little warmer, Got my first free tick at 11, and let me tell you, I would not recommend any parent allowing that to happen. Yeah, it was like I got a fucking iguana when I was 5. It was like one of my first pets was like a fucking iguana. Like the worst pet ever, especially for a 5-year-old. You know, I got a fucking alligator that lives in my kitchen now because the reptile industry, you know, I got my first reptile in 1987, and apparently we have grown little to none in terms of, you know, responsible behavior. Because when I was 5 and I got an iguana at 43, I had to take in a fucking alligator because somebody thought that was a good idea. So yeah, the reptile industry's killing it, crushing it. You know, and that's the real reason. One of the main reasons I don't support USARK still to this day is because I never see USARK coming out and having the hard conversations that you know that they need to have. You know, and let me know. I don't know. Let's have a quick conversation about US ARC. What would I'm guessing most of you guys promote or support them. I don't because I just don't see them. I don't see them having much of a game plan. But if you do or don't support them, what would you like to see out of USARC? I mean, the main thing I would like to see out of USARC, like here's what it would take for me to support USARC, and it wouldn't take much. It would take they'd have to get a YouTube channel and put out weekly videos and up their social media game. So they'd have to have their social media going and a YouTube channel where they're having interactive. Either they put out a video, do an interactive live stream, and they're keeping people up to date. They are recommending that every state start its state version of USARC because that's what needs to happen. I said that in 2012. They be honest about legislation, and I don't want to go off on because I'll talk for 2 hours on that if I get into that. So we'll just say they need to be honest about legislation. And the other big thing is start having the tough conversations that nobody wants to have. Namely, why are shows still allowing vendors to show up with 50 fucking baby alligators for $40 a pop? You know, and why is why are vendors still doing that? And I understand why they're doing it. It's to make money. But, you know, like one of the biggest sellers at reptile shows forever were like little painted turtles, red-eared sliders, like all of that shit, right? And $5, $5 a pop because they were so cheap. You could get a little, they were size of quarter and a little deli cup. And no one on the state level ever enforces any of the federal laws on turtles at shows. So, you know, somebody would show up with hundreds of those, and you know, and they're $5, $10 a piece, and they just fucking blow them all out because they get them all for a buck or two a piece. And now red-eared sliders are invasive in Pennsylvania, you know, and like Pittsburgh is constantly having to fish an alligator out of somewhere, you know, either the river or fucking walking down the street. It's like, why are we doing this? And I think that's what it would take for USARK to fucking for get my support. Not that they give a fuck, but they would have to have a good social media. They'd have to have a YouTube channel that's informative. They would have to. What the hell else did I say? They would have to stop lying about legislation. They'd have to recommend everyone start up a state level USARK, and they'd have to start having the tough conversations that they don't want to have because they don't want to lose any fucking money. But in the process of them keeping supporters and not saying anything unpopular, it's costing the reptile industry their rights. More and more every year we lose it. We're losing more and more every fucking year because USARK doesn't want to have a fucking conversation it needs to have with people. All right, where are we at? Send me the gator. Hey Rob, my first python was olive at 14. Yeah, olives are cool. They do bite a lot. I've been in love with the Lyasis genus ever since. Yeah, fucking Eric Kohler, he's a big Lyasis guy. the podcast went well. We started talking about you and locality stuff uh, for the last hour. Well, my ego likes that, so I'll have to go watch it so I can hear my name. Gotta love being young and dumb. LOL, but olives are great. Yeah, yeah, olives are cool. I never, for some reason, I never kept olives, and I could go get them anytime I want off Eric. Baby Salcuttas were like that. You know, Salcuttas are still kind of like that. Yeah, but you look at like baby iguanas, like that's something that the reptile industry has pretty much kicked out. You know, and I think a lot of that dried up because Petco, PetSmart, Pet whatever, they actually stopped carrying them. So all the massive shipments of them, they just stopped coming in. So I think that's actually why they dried up. I don't think the reptile shows saw a drastic drop in green iguanas because they decided to be responsible. I think it was just because the suppliers just weren't supplying because a lot of the fucking corporate pet stores just aren't carrying them anymore. We used to be able to blame Ming and Aqua World for the gators in the river, but with the shows now, you can get them for 100 at any show. Are they even 100? I think 100's high. I think they're more like 40, $50. By the end of the show, if they were 100, they're 40, $50 by the end of the show. I imagine it's difficult to have a discussion on moderation when you don't have the resources to combat extremists. Well, I mean, yeah, yeah, but they could at least be having the conversation. They could at least, you know, that's the thing. USR could at least be proposing the questions of should the reptile industry keep being insanely self-destructive, or should it start regulating itself so the government stops over-regulating us? You know, because like look at berms. Because there was fucking berms in the Everglades, we can't get retics anymore. Like that's dumb. That is dumb. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm not even really fighting against the idea of losing importation because a lot of the shit that came in retic wise we didn't need. A lot of it was just fucking 50 and 100 lots of fucking farm Sumatrans where they go collect eggs out in the field and then bring them in. You know, it was 50 and 100 lots of those things would come in and they just go to pet stores. You know, that's why there's a ton of wild caught Sumatran blood in this country. They're just in the collections of people who bought a snake from a pet store, and they're not online and they're not in the retic community. They're that shit's out there. We just don't know where the hell it's at because it's some random person's house that has like, you know, a snake or two. So they confiscated another gator at the drug bust in Detroit yesterday. If anyone is looking to adopt, yeah, it's like you know, it's not even like, and that's the thing. It's like it's not. It's bad enough that we're selling alligators that just aren't really feasible pets. It's like, you know what? You know, let's make it worse and sell the alligators to the drug dealers. So the alligator ends up on the news when the drug dealer gets busted. You know, that's why there's all those fucking retics in Puerto Rico. It was a big drug dealer that basically had a zoo and left all his shit go. So my Savus and Maclots are super cool. I'm surprised they are not more popular. I used to have Savus. I never could get them to breed. I ended up selling them or something. They were really old. I think that's why they didn't breed. They were like a million years old. What the fuck happened to Asian water dragons? I don't know, but they disappeared. They disappeared hard. You know what else you don't see is basilis. When's the last time you saw Basculus? Like a green? Because those things are like really pretty. You don't even see the ugly ass brown ones anymore. Yeah, trying to explain to people that the berms in the Everglades are like the lowest 5% of Florida, and it's not really as bad as the news makes it out to be. It's become a new tourist attraction for God's sake. Well, it was a tourist. Dude, it was a huge tourist attraction before they actually banned them. That they were actually Florida Fish and Wildlife were actually advertising them, saying, "Come see the new giant snake living in the Everglades," while simultaneously crying to the government to make them illegal. It's like, how are you going to market them and say you want rid of them at the same time? Like, come on. Like, come the fuck on. LO, trying to explain that cats are way more invasive and destructive in Florida. Yeah, and every like worldwide. I think it was New Zealand or somewhere. They're getting ready to like kill like a million fucking cats or 3 million cats or something because of it, like something ridiculous like that. The isn't the Puerto Rico situation different where the retics are actually taking out other invasive species? I don't know. As soon as Glenn gives me the go ahead, Glenn who wrote the book, he's going to be coming on to talk all about that shit because they're doing all kinds of work with some stuff related to that. So we're going to have him on the podcast. I was reading that the berms in Florida are helping the turtle numbers by eating nest raiders. Probably. They probably are. I imagine they're not hurting it. So, well, I've been on an hour. So if there's any other topics or shit you want to talk about, um, throw it in the comments while I'm still on here. But yeah, get ready for Sunday Shit Talk, the Sunday Shit Talk podcast. I am going to promote it as that. It's going to be the Sunday Shit Talk podcast. Like fucking half of the retic community will tune into that because of the name. It's all the anti-drama people will be for all the anti-drama people will be first in line. So that'll be fun. Oh, I do have a blog post that I need to finish up. It's the blog post is called "The Many Paths of Retic Production: Which Will Make It and Which Will End," and it is just a blog post going over general history of the style of breeding and where the direction we're moving. Which spoiler alert is towards selective breeding. Um, so yeah, that's I'll probably have that done tonight. I'll post a link. It's just in my blog section on my website. So I haven't written a blog in a while. My knee hurt. I didn't want to be, and I couldn't be in the snake room because the ball baby Timor pythons were breeding, and we'll stop if I'm in there too long. So I started writing a blog. Okay, if the species doesn't have morphs, they get put on the back burner by most of the hobby. Yes, they do, and that is very unfortunate. And and the thing is, if some of the less common species there was more demand for, hunters would be out catching more, and they would be finding more morphs. Like think about like the 90s when nobody was really trying to get into uh water monitors, and now everybody's into water monitors and they just find new morphs constantly of them because they're out looking for them, you know? I mean, it's just what it is. So, I mean, if people like the Team Wars, I guarantee there's albinos. I'm sure somebody can find an albino, can find an anery, can find a hypo. I mean, there's been some that look like they're hypo, and so I mean, I'm sure they're out there. Ironic how ironic that berms in Florida now have this deadly disease. Well, what they are is a host for a lungworm. And that's the thing, that's one of the things Glenn wants to talk about aside from the Puerto Rican retics is their lungworm issue. But I don't. We were talking about there's a bunch of different types of lungworms, but I know they are getting more prevalent in the southeast. Uh, and I don't really think that they're just from berms. Like I don't know. Glenn was telling me about it, but whenever there's some paper they have to wait to get published, and he can't come on and talk about it till the paper is officially published. So once that is published, then he's going to come on and tell us all about this shit. Yeah. I posted a live link to Retic Pursuit. I did. I posted. So, uh, apparently they didn't want to come watch. So, but all right, I want to jump off here. If I'm bored, I'll be on tomorrow. Um, but yeah, for the shit talk, for Sunday shit talk, we're gonna have some good topics to go over. And all right, I'll take a look at this Clint's Reptile shit. Um, and we'll probably make some people mad, but that's okay. People are allowed to get mad. So that's the nice thing about the First Amendment. You can say whatever the fuck you want. So, all right, later. Thanks for coming on.